Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Capitalize Your Best podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, and this show debuts every Wednesday, and we offer practical marketing and business strategies to help you grow your business, to help you capitalize on what you do best to grow your revenue. This week, we're going to do something different. I'm recording the intro here, but we're going to take a pause in a moment. And when we come back, we're actually going to be in the middle of my Capitalize Marketing Lab seminar. I had a seminar this past Tuesday, and the opening portion of it was a presentation on marketing strategies and leads. And what we thought we would do is we would share it in this week's episode to see what you think, to see what you enjoyed, but also more than anything else to help you out. So thanks for joining us. And now, thanks so much for enjoying this portion of the Capitalize Marketing Lab, which is every fourth Tuesday of the month. Thanks so much. Hang in there for a second. Here we go. Welcome everyone to the Capitalize Marketing Lab. Now I'm excited about this because we're going to begin doing this fourth Tuesday of every single month. We started at the beginning of the year doing Capitalize Your Best live seminars. Those are the third Tuesday of every month. And those are very more intimate, 8 to 10 people in person, more of a personal coaching program, personal coaching lab kind of situation. And they've grown so much and people have been enjoying them. I began to think, well, what if we recreated that environment, recreated that style, but we did it for marketing? And what that looks like is practical solutions, practical opportunities to solve people's marketing. So we're sitting here in the room, and what we're going to do is I'm going to do a small opening marketing seminar, just maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then what we'll do is we'll stop, we'll start taking questions, and then we're going to dive into people's practical marketing challenges they're facing. But I'm also simultaneously recording this because I want this to go out on the Capitalize Your Best podcast. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm experimenting across several platforms. So we've got the seminar going, and then we're also recording for the podcast, and I'm also recording on Zoom, and I've got it projected on the screen behind me. Way too many things for it all to go well, but let's see what we can do here. So let's go with the presentation. So hopefully you guys can see that well. So really, it's not going to be a huge presentation, but the goal is that we want to recreate that intimate setting of like the Capitalize Your Best live seminars, but do it in a marketing setting so we can work through practical marketing problems for everyone who attends. But I do want to do a presentation each time. So this month we're focusing on social media to gain leads. And so I've really only got 3 or 4 small points. So let me just jump right into them. So our first one here is the whole idea of content across all platforms. If you've had anything to do with my 11 o'clock coaching calls or anything along those lines lately, that what I've been trying to do is help everyone see that we've got to be spreading out as much content across as many platforms as possible because right now it gets harder and harder to be found anywhere we are. And so that means massive amounts on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. I don't care what platform you're on. Be real. It does not matter at this point in time. We've got to cross content across all platforms. Now, I've had some people lately expressing to me, and they've said, you know what? I want to really do less is more. I'd like to do less content that's of a higher quality and be found that way. Well, I'm never going to argue with anybody wanting to do content of a higher quality, but that approach only works if the less content you're publishing is getting a massive amount of interaction. Don't get me wrong. If you put out a piece of content on Facebook and it runs for days, and people are constantly liking it and commenting on it, and you're getting thousands of views, good for you. Ride that rocket. But more than likely, that's not the case. You only get to take the less is more approach if the less that you're doing is netting you massive results. More than likely, the less that you're doing is giving you less of a chance of being found. And what we've got to do is we've got to look at what's working and what's not working, and then we have to move towards it. Now, you might notice the photo here that I'm using for this illustration. And it's a picture of an airplane covered in red dots. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's exactly what I said. It's a drawing of a B-2 bomber from World War II, and there's red dots all over the place. And this comes from a very famous a famous experiment or famous analysis that was done during World War II. It's called survivorship bias. And what was happening is planes, of course, were getting shot down in World War II. And the ones that made it back, they were doing studies of to be like, okay, why are these making it back and others aren't? And so you can see in this visual that there's red dots all over the wings, but there's no red dots on the engine or the nose. And this is an example of a plane would land and they would find bullet holes all over the wings, but they wouldn't find bullet holes on the engine and the nose. And so they were examining it and they're like, okay, we've got to figure out, well, how do we make these wings stronger? And then someone realized, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with the wings. These are the ones that actually made it back. The planes that didn't made it back were shot on the propellers and the nose. They were actually studying the wrong thing. The wings were just fine. They were getting shot and making it back. It was the planes that were getting shot on the nose or the propellers. And they were studying the wrong thing. And what I use this illustration for all of us is we just keep putting out the content that we like to put out on the platforms we like to put out. And we're like, well, that's doing fine for me. Well, you're looking at the wrong things. You've got to look where you're not succeeding right now. And where you're not succeeding is where you're not getting leads. So if you're not getting leads from LinkedIn, you need to put the time into LinkedIn to start getting leads from them. If you're not getting leads from your Facebook group, then you got to start putting time into the Facebook group. And then if you realize I'm not getting leads from anywhere, then what you've got to do is you've got to start producing massive amounts of content across all platforms. Less is more doesn't exist right now. It might if you have a multi-million listenership for your podcast and you're putting out once a week, great. My encouragement though was why don't you go to twice a week and double up the interaction you have. But right now, less is more is not a successful process for your marketing. We've got to look at it and go, where do I need to get my leads from? Listen, guys, I've been preaching this all year. We've been massively upping the amount of content that we're putting out. And to be honest with you, initially, we did not get any leads from it. But I am getting to the point that the massive amounts of content is beginning giving me leads in two areas. One, people are appreciating the themed content. But two, people want to talk to me about the mere fact that I'm putting out massive amounts of content. And so what's happening is when I sit down to talk marketing, I get the opportunity to tell folks, hey, we as a company can help you produce this amount of content. We as a company can help you spread across multiple platforms. And that's what's necessary if you're going to use social media for marketing right now. Because there's just way too much content for us to be found with the less is more approach. Instead, what we've got to do is we've got to find a way to get ourselves in front of people no matter what. And so the myth right now is the less is more theory. My encouragement and what I'm seeing across all the platforms is that you've got to be able to get in front of the eyeballs. And if you're not doing at least daily, you got to start getting to daily. If what you're doing daily isn't getting a response, then you got to start getting to multiple responses, multiple pieces of content. So don't just look at what you've done and go, okay, that's working, unless that's getting you leads, and then lean into it. And then ask yourself, where is it not working for you? And then it's time to stretch into those platforms. Right now, the essential for any business has got to be Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You've got to at least be on those three platforms. But even within that, your Instagram has stories, your Facebook has both a personal and business, and they also have groups. LinkedIn has a personal, business, and groups. And then all of a sudden you realize that across all of those things, you have 3 or 4 opportunities within each platform. And I'm not even talking about TikTok at this point in time, which is the fastest growing platform in the world. So right now, my friends, encouragement to you is content across all platforms. And one of the things we'll do later on in the lab today is help people figure out how they can do massive amounts of content. Okay. All right. Let's hop into the topic of the present, the topic of the day, the one thing I mentioned I was going to talk about this in just on a random Facebook post today, and someone's like, "I want to come hear what you have to say on this topic," and I have two things to say. All right, let's talk about AI and AI issues. Now, when you look at this photo, if you're able to see this, you'll see an image of a young woman who's a nurse. This is clearly an AI generated image. It's a great looking image. From a distance, you might think, oh, that's stock photography, because at this point in time, you can have AI create for you amazing looking images. And if I were doing a generic website or generic social media post about the industry, I might use this for something, but I'm not going to use this in any sort of day to day. I want to make 2 points for us about AI. But before I say anything, just remember AI is just a tool for your social media. It's not the solution. It's just a tool. Let me speak about AI images. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Most of your AI images in your social media stink. They look terrible. Yes, chat can recreate you in an AI image. What does it matter? If it's not advancing the point you're trying to make, or if it's not making what you're doing better, stop doing it. I see people all the time putting out images of themselves from AI on social media, but it doesn't actually do anything to propel their message. If you want to AI create yourself, go for it, but make it have a point, make it funny, make you make fun of yourself, put yourself in a situation you might want not be able to put yourself into. But if you're just going to literally recreate yourself and then put a little post on it, it does not advance it at all, because I look at it, everyone else looks at it and goes, oh, that's an AI image. The only thing an AI image does to advance you is if it advances the message. So just recreating yourself in AI makes me go, oh, that person knows how to recreate themselves in AI. The point of any AI image is that it has to advance what you want to be said, and it makes your message stronger. Otherwise, it's just a toy. And we don't want to use these massive learning machines for toys, literally the most powerful machines in the world, and we're creating images that don't have a point. So listen, let's say I was going to do a post about, are you drowning in the number of social media platforms you have to post in? Well, if I made an AI image of me struggling to swim, that might be kind of funny. That would make sense. But if I just post a picture of me scratching my head on an AI, I'd be better off just taking a photo of me scratching my head. So AI images only help you if they propel your message or they enable you to do something that you can't do. But this image here is as generic or as stock as you can get. It's not going to propel anything. So friends, with AI and the AI images, yes, it's fun. It can be, but please only use it if it propels your message, not for people to go, oh, there's an AI image. Does that make sense? It needs to be a tool that you're using for advancement, not just a tool to do something with. It's got to actually have a purpose, just like any tool would. A hammer's got a hammer, a nail's got a nail, but you can't just create things because you can create things. It doesn't help. After a while, it just becomes another thing to scroll right over. So it's got to advance. I'm going to say this over and over again. Make it have a purpose. But let me go on to the next thing. Now, what I'm going to do here in a minute is I'm going to show you an example of an AI generated post. And I'm not going to share this to beat up the people who've posted it. I've posted images, posts just like this. But if you want to stand out, I want to show you how you can do it. Now, here is a post. And it's clear that this was an AI generated copy. You can look at this and say that was done. And listen, I love everybody in this post. I love the collective. I love Fairy Godmother Project. They're all great posts. They're all great folks. I've done this myself. But when you look at this post, you know AI created it. Here's a couple of ways you can notice. First of all, man, there are emojis everywhere. There's so many emojis. And when you ask AI to create a copy for you, it loves emojis. Even if you say do it without emojis, it still does it with emojis. But then there's another thing there. To see the little center circle, it's called an M dash, or just a dash. AI loves dashes, just crazy loves dashes. So when you look at this, no big deal. We're used to seeing posts like this, but to any sort of trained eye, you go, well, I know AI wrote this. I would offer, here's the better way to approach this. Have AI create this exact post here, then do the work, get rid of 95% of the emojis and get rid of the M dash. If you see that little quote there in the middle, only 100 headphones available dash, first come, first dance, then make that only 100 headphones available, period. Get rid of the dash, first come, first dash. Use AI generated copy to make copywriting easier for you, not for you to turn off your brain. So if you want to begin standing out, you're going to have to take that copy and edit it. We can't just go pure cut and paste, because after a while, what happens is it's being done so much that all of our copy is looking the same. And I want to make this point. I've done this. I 100% have done it. It's not even that I'm guilty of, it's just happening. But the future of advanced copywriting for me and for anyone else is to, yes, let's have the copy created by AI, help you out, and then do the work of editing it to make it stand out. Because after a while, everything's beginning to look the same. And it makes no sense that we're going to use AI to all look the same. That is absolutely not the purpose of AI marketing. The whole point of AI marketing should be that there's such power that I can have a distinct visual style and a distinct presentation. And guys, again, I've done it. Every single thing I'm telling you here, I've been guilty of, but it's now time. After a good 1.5 to 2 years of ChatGPT and Meta and Gemini and all the platforms out there, and now what Google's doing now is insane. But it's now at the point where we can use AI to be distinct, creative, and set ourselves apart. Don't get me wrong. If this is all you have time for, do it. But that's not what we're here trying to do in the marketing lab. We're trying to help you create things that help you stand apart. So I stand guilty, just like all of you. But now that we know it, let's move forward, use the copy that's created, and let's step into creating new things with AI, not all looking the same. I'm going to be so redundant in this lab. It makes no sense that we have the most powerful computers in the world, and the end result is that all of us are doing the exact same thing and look the same. Let's use this to stand out. But AI is only going to give you what you tell it to give you. You have to make a point to stand out. Okay. All right. One more issue here. Leads. I'll be honest with you, this picture has nothing to do with what I've said. I just love the image of me in a Deadpool outfit holding hot dogs. All right. Here's the thing, guys. None of your marketing matters. None of it. Unless you have a lead. I'm going to define a lead as someone who has expressed interest in your product and service. They have said yes to your, leave a comment below if you're interested. They have reached out to you and said, yes, they would like to talk to you about your service. They've given you an email address. They've given you a phone number. At that point in time, your marketing has broken through and you have a lead. Then here's the thing. You must follow up with the leads. And you cannot, at this point in time, be worried like, oh no, I'm going to be annoying people. I'm not saying be annoying, but you have to follow up with leads. Gary Vee, who's just famous for this, he's like, you know what? Just be kind, considerate, and reach out to everyone who's ever reached out to you. We had a guy came up to him recently and said, no one wants, I can't get a girl to go ask me out on a date. And he was like, well, how many of you asked out? And he goes, well, 4 or 5. He goes, well, go ask out 100. I don't understand. One of them will go out on a date with you. Well, here's the thing. If you got a database of 100 emails, then email them. If you've got contacts on your phone, contact them. Spend your day reaching out. And again, if you have a legit product or service and they have expressed interest, you have every right to reach out to them. None of the things I'm sharing with you actually matter if you're not actually following up with the leads. And the leads are precious. When we get to this point, we actually get them, we've got to do something with them. So that way, we're doing content across all areas. We're using AI correctly. We're doing those things. Then we get a lead. It's time to work on that lead. So friends, you've got to follow up with leads. You've got to ask for a one-on-one. You got to ask for a 15-minute discovery call. You got to say, do you mind if I share my product or service with it? Because that's the entire point of the marketing. All right, guys, a couple of things here. I'm going to wrap up here. We're going to move into the lab portion. This can bring us into the presentation of the podcast. But just as a quick reminder, at Capitalized Marketing and Consulting, we can do a couple of things for you. We are a full-scale marketing company. So any social media, websites, graphics, if you need any of those services, we can help you with those services without a problem. We also have the Capitalize Your Best Marketing Training Program. There's no training program like this in the area. We will actually teach you how to do your marketing. And recently we started a lead calling service. So if you've got a spreadsheet or an Excel sheet sitting around and you've got leads that you've not called and you can't stand calling them, we will call them for you. So if you have a need outside of this, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be glad to help. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to transition into the practical part of the marketing lab. I appreciate everyone tuning in, both here in person. And if you're on the podcast, thanks for listening. We're going to do this again on the 4th Tuesday of next month. We're going to keep up that momentum. And I look forward to talking to you guys all again soon. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye.